How's it going, guys? It's Ace here, and welcome back again to another video. For today, I have something special for you guys because I just recently hit 50 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I know that is a very small amount to be celebrating for, but this channel has been growing at a very slow rate, and I don't really mind it because what this is telling me is that the people who are watching my videos are actual subscribers. So, you know, I've always had that mindset where if you're going to subscribe to someone, then you need to watch their videos, you know, and I have that same sort of mindset about my own subscribers. Like, if you guys are just here for this video here, for example, then I don't expect you guys to subscribe to me. However, if you like horror content and you want to see more stuff like this, then definitely subscribe and I will be sure to do more like this, because that is going to tell me that you guys are enjoying this. And, you know, leaving likes and comments helps, but, you know, you do whatever you guys want. But yeah, I don't want this intro to be too long, so I want to thank you guys for subscribing, and here is to the next 50. So the topic we're going to be discussing here today is rides with strangers. So this, if you guys do not know, is an indie horror game that was created back in 2017 by Reflect Studios as a demo. And this game took the internet by storm, in my opinion. This thing was everywhere. Everyone was playing it. To give a quick summary of what the game is, basically you are playing as this girl named Alora and you're trying to hitch a ride because your car just broke down. So you have to hitch a ride with the one and only stranger within this game known as Father Donald. And this guy right here, he is on a whole nother level of creepy. Whilst you're riding around with this guy, he will slowly start to make small talk with you, and eventually he gets so comfortable to the point where he tells you a lot of evil stuff he's done. I won't repeat what he said here, but if you guys want to go watch my gameplay of it, then you are welcome to do so. But that realism that he is talking about is what people love about this game. It is gritty, it is raw, and it just rubs you the wrong way. And that is exactly what a good horror game should do, and this game excels in that. And that, I feel, is why it was so popular and why many people have been wanting to see more from it. However, shortly after the game's demo was released, also came a trailer showing off the other strangers that would be featured in the full game. And there is a lot of them here, and these are the guys that we're going to be focusing on in today's video. We're going to be examining each one of these characters individually to see what their personalities are like, how they're going to act towards Alora, and even their cars. So just as a quick disclaimer, before you guys see the pictures that are going to come on screen, just know that they are not actual screenshots from the game. They are just depictions of what I think they're going to look like. As for the character models and their faces and all that, that is official stuff that I've gotten from the website. But the images with the cars are not official, so just keep that in mind. So if any of that sounds interesting to you guys, then I really do hope you stick around because this is going to be a very fun video. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So the first character that we're going to be taking a look at here today is known as the Connisour. I don't really know why, but I'm going to personally call him the Druggie. He is a white male with black hair and he seems to be between 25 to 40 years old. He's pretty skinny and he also seems quite shy and paranoid, so if it was not obvious enough, this guy is of course a drug user. If I had to guess what drug he is on based off of his mannerisms, I would have to say it's heroin because he does scratch his arms and he has cuts on them, but I could be wrong. You know, the more I'm looking at this guy's face, the more I'm imagining that he would sound like Dale from King of the Hill. Am I the only one who's seeing this here?
Mind if I smoke?
But yes, this guy is unfortunately a drug user, and it will likely be his entire personality. So now we're going to go in depth and we're going to take a look at how this would affect him in game and what would prompt him to kill us and what we can do to avoid that. Now, just judging off of looks, I would assume that this guy is usually a nice person because he does look kind of friendly, I'll admit. However, he is using drugs, so this is going to greatly alter his mind, and I could easily see a situation where he's questioning Allura to make sure she's not a narc or something. And depending on how you answer right there, will probably determine your life for the rest of the ride. But let's just say that we got past this part and now we're at the point where he's kind of comfortable. So after he is comfortable with you, I could see him trying to present his drugs and possibly trying to do them with you. So I could only see one of 4 outcomes here, and I'm going to name all of them that I've thought of in my head. So number 1, you could either take the drugs with him and experience some weird, trippy trip with him. Or number 2, you could just flat out decline it, and I have a feeling this one would not be a good answer because it would likely anger him and make him more suspicious. Option 3 could be to, fake take the drugs, like you're trying to fool him. You don't really want to, like you're just trying to go along with it, so, you sort of just hang it on your arm there to see if it'll trick him. And option 4 would be to try and get him off of the drug. I don't know if that would work. That'd probably be the most riskiest option, but I do see Allura as a good person who would try to do that for him. And who knows, maybe if you accomplish this, then he will be grateful for you and you'll get some kind of good ending or something. I don't know which one could be a canon ending, but I really would like to see this guy get help, and I think Allura could easily do that. You would just have to pick the right answers and avoid making him angry. But yeah, overall, I think this guy would not be much of a threat. You just have to pick the most logical answers, and like I said, don't make him mad. And so yeah, that is the Connisour. So the next character we're going to be talking about here is known as the Joke Teller, and this guy is probably my favorite if I'm being honest because he just looks so cool and sketchy. But this guy is a white male and he seems to be between 20 to 35 maybe. I can't really tell because of the makeup, but I assume it's going to be between there. And this guy seems to be quite tall, and he's wearing this very scrappy looking clown outfit that he seemingly pieced together. As to why he's wearing this, I have no clue, but I do have some theories, so we're going to jump into those right now and see what this guy would be like. The only real context we have about this guy is his name, the Joke Teller, so what would that tell us about his personality and what he would do to us? Well, I see this guy trying to, like his name says, make jokes to you, and he's wanting you to guess the answer to them. And maybe if you get the answer wrong, or if you just don't answer at all, then maybe he'll get angry and tell you the answer to the joke in an angry way. I'll try to give an example here and talk like how I imagine he would, so here goes nothing. Okay, Allura, I have a joke for you. If there is a serial killer in your house, what would be the safest room? And then she would proceed to either answer or not answer. I'm going to say she doesn't answer fast enough in this case. It's the living room, you dunce! And he's really just going to try and be weird and keep up this clown persona to make you laugh. And I just see this guy doing that the entire time, just telling you these cheesy jokes that are not really that funny but are kind of clever. And then maybe once you're nearing the end, he'll tell you some grand finale joke, and if you get it right, then you will go on to reach your destination. Or if you get it wrong, then he will end up killing you and you won't get there. I don't have a joke made up for this one, so if you guys want to make up one in the comments, then feel free. But yeah, that is what I think this guy would be like. I don't know why he's doing all this. I don't know if he has any particular reason or if he's just crazy, like the Joker or something. But it's just up to your own interpretation, really. But that is what I get out of this guy. So yeah, that is the Joke Teller. The next character we're going to be having a look at here is known as the Grandmother, and I think it's obvious why she's called that. So this is a little old elderly lady who seems to be between 60 and above, I don't know what age specifically. She's a little bit on the shorter side, and she also seems to be a little weak as hinted by the cane there, unless that's just for show, it very well could be possible. So you guys must be asking yourself, how is this little old lady going to hurt anybody? She looks like she can barely walk. How is she going to kill someone? And I have two theories as to how she's going to do this, and I'm going to go over those right now. So my first theory about her is that she is going to try and poison you. Why she does this, I have no idea, but for those of you who have grown up with a grandma, you know that they can make some bomb-ass cookies, and I have a feeling that this lady might try to do that too and put poison in them. Like I said, I have no idea why she would want to do this to you, but that's the first thing that comes in mind to me. Now my second theory as to how she is going to go about killing you is she has help with it, because realistically, what could she do on her own besides poison people? So let's say an example here, maybe she's talking to you about something, just doing a little small talk to distract Allura, and then all of a sudden this big guy from the back puts a rope around her neck and starts strangling her. I think that could be very possible. I don't know why, again, she would want to do this to you. Maybe she's just introverted and doesn't like people except her grandchildren, which I assume would be grown at this age since she's an elderly lady, of course. Who the grandchild is, I don't know, but she has to be called the grandmother for a reason, right? I have a feeling she could be connected to another character we're going to talk about soon, but I will get into that once I get to that character. But yeah, so other than that, that's all I can really say about the old lady, I don't know what else she would be wanting to do this for. So if you guys have any theories on her, then let me know down below, and I will take a look at them. The next character we're going to be taking a look at here is known as the Pharmacist, and I think it's pretty obvious why he's called this. He is a presumably Latino or Samoan man, and he seems to be between his late 20s to late 30s at least. He seems to be a little bit more huskier than the previous characters, but it could be his round face shape deceiving me. With this, he has on his white doctor's uniform, presumably this is where he works. Or perhaps he's running his own pharmacy out of his basement or some shit, but I'm assuming he's an actual legit pharmacist. So with that information in mind, we're now going to go in depth and see how this guy would go about killing us, because there's multitudes of ways he could. So since this guy is a pharmacist, he would of course have access to millions of different types of medicine. And he could easily do anything to you. He could trick you into taking a pill. He could give you a shot in your neck similar to Tanner from Scrutinized. He could do anything. He could lace you with something, give you food. There's so many possibilities. Speaking of Tanner, though, I do wonder if these two know each other, because they're both doctors, I think. Is Tanner a doctor? I don't even know. He's wearing the uniform, so I assume he is. I haven't really delved into Scrutinized that much, so I could be wrong. But yeah, this guy here in particular, he seems very dangerous because he could do this to anybody he wants to and likely get away with it. The way I see him killing you most likely and the most effectively would be to use the syringe, because, all he has to do is just stab you and you're down, pretty much. Why he wants to do this, I don't know. Maybe he has some sick desires for Allura as well. Who knows? But yeah, in my opinion, this guy is one of the most dangerous that we have seen so far. Probably up there next to Father Donald. So yeah, that is the Pharmacist. The next character we are going to be having a look at is the Detective. He is a black male who seems to be between 35 to 45-ish years old, if I had to guess. He's wearing his uniform, I presume, which consists of a white button-up shirt and some blue slacks. I don't really know what that is around his shoulders. I don't know if that's like a support thing to keep your back straight or what, but yeah, that's a thing. But yes, this guy is a detective, so I think it's pretty obvious to see how this guy could be a big threat to us, so I'm going to go in now and we're going to discuss all of those details. So with this guy being a cop, I think he automatically has a huge advantage over us because, of course, he has a gun. And I don't think I need to explain to you guys how that could be a danger to you because, guns are dangerous. I don't think detectives are the same thing as police, but I think they still have the same class. So I think this guy would have about as much rights as an actual police officer would, if not more. So I think you guys could pretty easily see how this guy could be able to take advantage of us. But the real question is, what would he want from her? Because there's not really much she has because her car's broken down. She's just by herself. Like, what could he really want from her? Like, perhaps this guy is wanting some sexual favors from Alora. And if Alora tries to get away from this guy, then all he has to do is pop a cap at her and then she's down, It's the fact that he has the authority over you and can still get away with what he's doing that makes this guy scary. So yeah, I really do see this guy being a huge threat. I don't see how you would get past him. Like, he could even lock his doors for all we know. But yeah, this guy really does seem like he would abuse his power as much as possible to get whatever he wants. And to me personally, he is one of the most threatening strangers in this lineup. The next stranger we are going to be taking a look at is known as the Mommas Boy, and this is the stranger that I was referring to earlier about with the grandma. Let's go over him first, and then I will get into that theory in just a moment. So this guy is a white male, and he seems to be roughly in his 40s, I would say, and he also has blonde hair. I think this guy is actually the tallest stranger there is, so, if he were to stand next to Alora, he would likely tower over her. Based on his outfit, I think it's safe to assume that he does some sort of construction-related work. What it is specifically, we don't know, but I'm going to assume maybe he's just like a road worker or something. Those guys that drive those weird white trucks around that you have no idea what they do? Yeah, he's one of those guys. So now we are going to discuss the theories of this guy and see how much of a threat he would be towards us. Now, to start this, I'm going to finish off that theory with the old lady, and then I will examine him as his own person. So this guy on the website is known as the Mommas Boy. So what does that imply to us? Well, I think it's very possible that this guy could be the grandson of that old lady. Or maybe even just her son, like maybe this guy has kids too. Assuming he is this woman's son, realistically, how would he be in her car while simultaneously being on the road at the same time? Like, really, that's the only flaw I see with this theory. Like, I could totally see this guy being in the back of her car and wearing a hoodie so he won't be noticed. But I think that's a little far-fetched. Like, maybe they are related, they just don't connect with each other, and maybe she does poison people, who knows. Other than that, I don't really see a way to connect them, other than looking at them side by side, which I will quickly do. Honestly, I can't really tell if they are related or not. I mean, I see some similarities, but I also see some major differences, so what do you guys think? Personally, I'm going to say that this probably is not the case, but it's still interesting to think about. But if we are to really look at this guy as his own character, then what would he present at that point? Well, if his character name is anything to go off of, then he is obviously a mama's boy, so that must mean he loves his mother very much. I don't know why this would be relevant to the ride or whatever, but maybe he strikes up a conversation about his mom. Like, I don't know. This one is a little bit confusing to me. I mean, the guy looks cool, but I just really don't know what they're trying to go for with this guy. That's why I was trying to really pair him with the grandma, because if he had that character with him, then, it would kind of make more sense and he would have more of a story to go off of. But without any other context clues, we don't really know what he would be about, so I'll let this one be up for you guys to decide, because I really don't have any ideas for this one, so if you guys have any ideas, then please let me know. The next character we are going to be having a look at here is known as the Dungeon Master, and that is a freaky name, buddy. Like, why did you pick that? This guy is a white male, and he seems to be in his 20s somewhere. I'd say probably 25, and he has black hair. This guy is probably the most overweight of all the characters. Okay, I can't. I've got to go on a tangent here about this guy a little bit. He's just so funny looking. I have to roast him. Look at his freaking face. He looks so weird, like he has a pinhead.
Who you calling Pinhead?
This guy looks like he's the son of Al from Toy Story 2. And I bet this here is what he looks like while he's in his bedroom. I mean, like father, like son, right? I bet this guy even has a decked out PT Cruiser. So anyways, let's now jump in and see how this guy would be a threat to Allura. So this freaking guy, what do I even say about him? Well, for starters, before I really even get into Allura, I must say this. This guy right here was actually supposed to have his very own game. It was going to be called The Last Stop, and it was being produced in 2019, I believe, but unfortunately Reflect Studios canceled it. Which is really unfortunate because I would have loved to see this game be a thing, but I won't go too deep into it right now. I'll probably make a separate video talking about this game. So anyways, back to Rides with Strangers. So how would this guy really be a threat to Allura? Well, judging off his name, the Dungeon Master, that to me sounds like this guy has some very kinky stuff going on in his personal life. Or perhaps maybe that's just a nerdy slang like Dungeons and Dragons. I don't really know. It could go either way with this guy, to be honest. To me personally, I see this guy trying to hit on Allura. I mean, just look at how he looks. He's a neckbeard. Of course he would. This guy seems very desperate for a woman, so I think he would be very quick to tip that fedora to her. And I could just see this guy making Allura be so uncomfortable. Like maybe he's talking about sex stuff and trying to like really push this onto her and like she's very uncomfortable. Like I could very easily see him doing that. Maybe he even brings up like some kinky stuff like BDSM things because his name is the Dungeon Master, so like maybe he has some really kinky stuff in mind. I don't even want to imagine it just sounds so cringe in my mind. But yeah, if you do have one brain cell at least in your head, then you would be quick to decline this guy, and I have a feeling that that would get him angry with you. And I have a feeling that he would throw an absolute fit. Like, he seems like a complete man-child, or man-baby in this case. Like, he would be angry, threatening her, and maybe even try to wreck the car if she doesn't listen to him or something. I don't know, I just see this guy being a complete asshole, and it would be an utter miracle if you were able to survive this entire trip. So yeah, that is my opinion on the Dungeon Master. So the next character we are going to be looking at here is the Nympho. She is a female who seems to be in her mid-20s to early 30s, I would guess. She has long blonde hair and her outfit is quite seductive. If her name wasn't obvious enough, or if you guys just don't know what Nympho means, basically she is a sex addict. So I think we have a pretty good idea of what this woman's soul shtick is going to be about and why she would end up killing you. So now we will go and talk about what she would be like. As a fun little fact here, if you guys do not know, you actually play as this woman in Welcome to the Game 1. I apologize if that was a spoiler for you guys, but I mean the game is a few years old now. You guys should know by this point. But basically, in one of these secret endings of the game, she actually ends up getting a phone call and she picks it up and you can hear her voice.
Well, hello there.
It's me. Where are you?
Not at home, I can tell you that.
Not at home. What are you doing?
You know, just finding new ways to get off.
And then after this call's over, she walks over to the mirror and we can clearly see that this is the same woman here.
Bye.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
And as you can see by that clip there, the sexual implications are very strong. So how would this translate over to Rides with Strangers? Well, we don't know 100% if this woman is bisexual or not, but if she is, then that would probably put Allura in a little bit more danger. We don't really know Allura's real sexuality either, but it would likely be up to the player to decide that. Like, say for example, she tries to make some sexual advantages onto Allura. She could say, "You have a sexy voice," or something like that. I'm not going to even try to talk like a woman. But, I could easily see her trying to do something like that, or maybe she's never done it with a woman before, and she's wanting to experiment with Allura because, she's basically got her all to herself right here. I don't know, it could go multiple ways really, but the ending is just going to be you getting killed because you declined her for sex. That's really what this is going to lead up to. I don't really see how you would pass this though without having to, have sex with her, because who knows how many STDs this woman has, for being honest here. The only way I could see you maybe surviving the whole trip is like pleasing her, like you have to touch her or something. I know that's a little graphic, but I don't really see another way of this working other than doing something like that. I don't know, but I just think overall she would be a really tough character to get past, similar to the Dungeon Master guy. And so yeah, that's all I have to say about her, and let's move on to the last one. So the next character here we're going to be taking a look at is the Gentleman. He is a white male who seems to be between his late 30s to early 40s, I would say, and he has brown hair. For his outfit choices, he seems to be very well put together and clean cut. Like, this guy is wanting to seem as professional as possible. And overall, he just seems like a really smooth guy, like he could easily get women. So yeah, we will discuss him now and see what he could do with Allura. So before we fully jump into this guy's personality and what he would do, I must first tell you that this guy right here is actually the one the Nympho was talking about in that clip you guys saw. That's right, the guy that was on the phone with the Nympho is actually this guy, and we know this because if you look very, very closely on the phone, you can actually see this guy's picture there. And it's actually revealed that his name is Charles. But yeah, I just wanted to state that really quick just to let you guys know that that is the guy she was talking to. So now coming back to Rides with Strangers, how would this guy interact with Allura? Would he still be the smooth talking mooey macho man that he is? Or would he treat her differently? Personally, I think he would still try to sweet talk her because he just looks like he loves women. Like, this guy right here is the polar opposite of what Carl is. Oh man, if Carl needed a ride and this guy were to pick him up, he would just immediately jump out because this guy is just too much for him to handle. He is too much of an alpha wolf to Carl. But as for Allura, I feel like this guy would try to smooth talk with her as well. As for what his intentions are with her, I don't really know. But seeing that he likes to hook up with women that he meets online, then that should tell you all you need to know right there. I really don't want to seem like I'm trying to make these characters all sexually driven because I don't know their true motives, but I don't really know what else to say for them. Unless this guy is just trying to take her out on a date first, then I don't really know what else he would do with her. As for why he would kill her, maybe like she just doesn't want to be with him, like she has a husband or something, or a boyfriend maybe. And then she declines his offer, and then maybe he feels offended because, a woman's never declined him before because he looks so good. And then maybe then he would kill her? I don't really know. I really wish we could have seen more of him in Welcome to the Game, but unfortunately all we had was that one phone call. But since that is all I have to go off of, I'm going to leave it at that. Alrighty guys, you made it to the end of the video. Wait a minute. We're not done here. I have one more. Just as a little bonus character here, I'm going to throw in the Breather from Welcome to the Game. And the only reason I'm throwing him in here at the end as a possible character is because in Welcome to the Game 1, it is stated that he often picks up random hitchhikers, or he targets them. And that's just basically telling it to us at this point that the Breather is meant to be in this game in some way. And I think it would be absolutely awesome if there were to be some kind of little Easter egg for him. If you can't get picked up by him, at the very least, I would like to see him drive by, you know? Like, that would be cool. It would actually be kind of scary to see him just stare at you with those blank eyes as he passes by. But it would be even scarier if he actually stopped for you and let you get a ride. Or possibly kidnap you, that's an option too. Or maybe he just doesn't have a vehicle at all, but I'm pretty sure that white van outside the house is his. So I don't see why he would be on foot really, but yeah, he could very well be walking around the forest too. Who knows? And so anyways guys, we are now at the actual end of the video. I don't have any more surprises up my sleeve. This video here has been a lot of fun making, and I really do hope to see some more stuff with this series one day because I love Rides with Strangers and I just want to see all these characters actually make their way in the spotlight. I feel like people deserve to have this game, and I just really hope that Reflect Studios listens to the fans' feedback and that they actually do make this thing one day. But if they don't actually end up producing the game, then at the very least we can look at these characters and appreciate them for what they could have been. And if we want to, we could just make our own stories based off of them if he never is going to use the characters again. So, you know, regardless of whatever happens, I still see potential with these characters in this series, so really all I can say is just hope for the best and we'll see what happens. So anyways guys, I hope you have all liked the video. I hope you have all enjoyed it because I know I had fun making it. Please leave a comment down below, hit that like button, and if you're not already, please subscribe. And also hit that little notification bell to be alerted for whenever I upload. I hope you liked the video, and I will see you all in the next one. This is Ace,